If you've ever Googled how to get a website for my pet business, you've probably been hit with a million different answers. There's Wix, Squarespace, WordPress, templates, there's custom design. What do you need before you even start? What's the best option for where you're at? And not to mention everyone's biases, right? I'm a website designer, I'm probably biased towards a certain thing, and everyone else is biased towards their own platforms and their own preferences and what they've done and their own experiences. It's a lot, and everyone has different opinions and everyone has different experiences. It's actually one of the most searched questions in the pet industry, which is not surprising given how many options there are. It's truly a lot to sort through. So, that is the motivation of today's episode. I want to walk you through as unbiasedly as possible what the process actually looks like, what your real options are when it comes to a website, what you need in place before you start, and how to make sure your website doesn't just look cute, but it actually works to bring in clients, because that's really the bottom line, right? It's not just that you want a website, it's that you want more clients and that you want a growing business and you want to be successful. Your website is not just a box to check off your to-do list, it's truly the foundation for all of your marketing, all of your leads, all of your onboarding. Everything leads back to your website. So it's got to be ready to receive those visitors and convert them into clients and make your life easier. That's the whole point. So we have got a lot to cover today. I really want this to be very thorough for you so you feel more equipped to make the right decision for you and where you're at in this season of business and entrepreneurship. And I'll try to keep it also as concise as possible, while also giving you all that important information because, again, I know it's overwhelming out there and the point of this episode is to really simplify it and make it kind of a foundation and a resource for you when it comes to which website option is best for you. So let's get started. Welcome, Petpreneur, to the Pet Marketing Unleashed podcast. I'm your host, Michaela Vargas, founder, designer, and educator behind Pet Marketing Unleashed. This podcast is all about growing your pet business without the stress. Here, you'll find episodes packed with actionable tips and advice for streamlining your online presence, avoiding burnout, and onboarding new clients while you're away from your desk or out with the dogs. So pop in those earbuds and learn stress-free marketing and website strategies with me while you head out on your next dog walk, pet sitting visit, drive to your next session, or just wherever your pet business takes you next. Let's dive in. Okay, let's first start off with your website options and who each one is best for. So when it comes to getting a website for your pet business, you've pretty much got 4 different main routes, each with different levels of investment and time and customization. So the first option that you'd have is just to completely DIY it. So you can pick a website builder like Wix, that's like a drag and drop. This would be best if you are super tight on budget or you're just getting started. You can simply DIY your website, and they have free templates that you can use to customize. Squarespace is another one that you can use that has templates that you can just simply customize. And they make it pretty easy to drag and drop and publish a website. You don't have to use code or anything like that. So the pros of using this method is that it is affordable, it's very flexible, it's on your own time. The cons, though, is that it does take time. And unless you know a bit about website strategy or SEO or user experience and things like that, it's easy to end up with something that looks decent but doesn't actually convert visitors. So that's just something to keep in mind. A lot of times when they have free templates, like Wix has a lot of free templates, but they don't know the industry. The people who are creating those templates aren't strategically understanding what the flow is for this industry. They are making hundreds of templates all the time for all different types of businesses and just making something that looks nice as a foundation and base. So that's just something to keep in mind. So you'd want to then end up spending a lot more time on website strategy, things you can do to enhance your flow, learning about SEO, things like that, so that the website isn't just up, but it's also working for you. So that's the first option, is just DIYing it with a website builder. The second option is to purchase a premium website template. So if you do not want to start completely from scratch, but you still want something that you can manage yourself, a website template could be a perfect middle ground for you. So this is something that we offer. So we have our Pet Marketing Unleashed website templates that are pre-built specifically for pet businesses. Obviously, this is what we focus on, so we know the industry, we know the strategy, all of that fun stuff. We also have the education that comes with the template, our Unleashed Website Academy course that walks you through how to customize it, walks you through copywriting, SEO settings, integrating with a booking software, things like that. You essentially would just swap in your copy, your photos, your colors, and you're set with a professional website. So this is really one of the fastest and most cost-effective ways to get a website that kind of does best of both worlds. You're not investing in like a full custom website and you're not paying for somebody one-on-one to work through the website, but it's a little bit more premium. It has more strategy than just DIYing it simply with nothing, just starting from scratch. You actually have a really solid foundation and you have some of that education and resources to guide you step by step throughout the process. So that's the second option, is purchasing a premium website template. I know I probably sound biased, but I don't really know anybody else who does pet industry website templates. So I can't give you any other sort of resources on that, but I'm sure you can potentially find some, especially on other platforms. And actually, I'll talk about one in option 3 as well that's kind of works with this sort of model. But this option that I'm talking about right now still allows you to just purchase it on your own. You're not paying extra monthly for maintenance or hosting or anything like that other than through the Wix platform. So that's something to consider in terms of cost effectiveness, is what are the ongoing monthly costs and things like that. With doing option 1 and 2, you are not paying somebody else monthly to have the website other than just the platform that you're using. The next option would be to hire a designer to customize a template for you. So the simplest method, since we just talked about website templates, is our website templates that we have on our website. We can actually customize those website templates for you so that you still have a website template. It's a little bit more cost effective, but we're also customizing it and launching it for you. So you don't really have to touch anything, but you still have that ability to customize it and you still have the education from that course. The other option that I was talking about within this one that I know uses different templates is Barketing Solutions, and they use WordPress, but they use more templates. I'm not sure. I can't speak to like how customizable they are, or if like you can just add in like your branding colors and your own text and pictures. But in terms of like flow and layout, I'm not sure how customizable it is. And it is something that you are paying them monthly to manage for you. And every time you need to make changes, you do have to go through them to get those changes done. I'm pretty sure. It could be wrong, but I think that's how it's set up. So that's another option as well. So there's different ways that different designers set up how this works. But in essence, it's kind of like a semi-custom route where you are starting with the base of a template and then you're getting it customized. With ours, again, there's no additional monthly cost. Once we customize it for you, you are essentially on your own. You have full control over your website. You can make any changes you want. You can, of course, always come back to us for edits, but that's the next option. The final option, obviously, is to invest in a fully custom website design. If your business is established and you're ready for something that's 100% personalized, a fully custom website is your next step. This is more for scaling businesses who really want all of the bells and whistles. This is where everything from your branding and copy to your SEO and client automations is built around your goals and your client journey and that next level of growth. And it's definitely a higher investment, but it's also the option that delivers the biggest return if your business is ready for that kind of scale. So this is something that we do as well. We have custom web brand and website design projects where we start 100% from scratch and build something that's not only looks good, but also works strategically behind the scenes for you. So again, that would be best for somebody who is ready to invest completely. They're like full force. Let's go for it. I want something completely custom. And that's something that we can assist with. So obviously with this direction, you have more to invest. You don't want to spend the time, that sort of thing. Okay, so those were the 4 main options for getting a website. So let me just recap those really quickly. We have option 1, which is just to DIY it. You build a site. You can typically find like a free template that you can start with from scratch and then be able to customize that website template yourself and get something live. Option 2 is to purchase a premium website template. That is like our website templates that we have on our website that are built just for pet businesses. So it has more of a strategic foundation and education that goes along with it so that you can get a strategic website but still have it on a budget. Option 3 is to hire a designer to customize a template for you. So that's like us being able to come in and customize our website templates for you so that it's all launched, it's customized with that professional eye, but you still have full control over it. You still have that course and education so that you can go in and make any future updates that you want. Or if you want to work with another designer like Barketing Solutions, they have templates that you can pick from, and then they customize it and they fully manage it. So depending on how much control you want over that process, you have a couple of different options as well. And then the fourth option is to invest in a fully custom website designer that can be with us or any other designer. So those are the four main options to get a website for your pet business. All right, so next let's talk about what you need before you actually start on the website. Before you even open Wix or you customize a template or you reach out to a designer, there are a few things that you need in place first. Otherwise, your website will end up feeling very scattered or unclear, which is exactly what drives visitors away. And I think something to keep in mind too with a website is you're not necessarily seeing all the lost potential, all of the lost clients because they're not even reaching out. So that's something that too, a lot of times people are like, well, I don't think I'm losing people, or I don't really know what's happening on the back end, because you're not seeing that missed opportunity. You're not seeing the people who have left your site because it's not performing, it's not resonating, it doesn't have all those features, it's not strategic, things like that. Some of these things, by the way, you can actually work with a designer on. So I know I said these are things to have before you reach out to a designer. It just depends on which option you go forward with, but these are things to keep in mind as you go through that website design process, regardless of which option. That is going to come up throughout the process that we should be prepared for. So number one is your services and your ideal clients. You want to be really clear on who are you speaking to, what problems are you solving. Your site's messaging and layout should guide the right people toward booking, not just like pet parents in your area. We want to get more specific. We do not want to try to appeal to everyone. So really getting into your overall branding, and not just the visual side, but the strategy of like your positioning. Who are you trying to target? And that's information that you want to gather from doing some market research, figuring out more information about your current ideal clients if you already have a client base, looking into the demographics of your area, looking into your highest paying clients, your favorite clients, where are they finding you, trying to figure out basically an overall brand strategy is that first step. And that's something that you definitely want to bring to the table when you start on your website. Next up would be more of that visual branding. So whether you already have professional brand or like a simple color palette, like your visuals will need to feel cohesive. And that's something that a lot of website designers will not actually even do your website until you have the branding. So for us, we do branding and website design packages, or if somebody comes to us just wanting a website design, they will need to bring with them brand guidelines. So they don't have to use us, but we do need brand guidelines in order to design the website. So that's something to keep in mind depending on investment priorities. If you have a brand designer friend, but she doesn't do a website, that's something to bring to the table, is those brand guidelines. Next up will be your copy. Your words are what connect, inform, and sell on your website. It's so important. I actually, even as a website designer, I would admit that the words on your website are just as important, if not more important, on your website than the design of your actual website. It all works together, of course, but the words are so underestimated and people don't really talk about that. And it is a completely separate service. So when you hire a website designer, they are designing your website. They do not write the words of your website. At least most designers do not do so unless they are also a copywriter, or somebody like us at PMU, we have an in-house copywriter who works on our project so that it's still part of that one cohesive project. So just keep that in mind, is the copy. So for somebody, again, who comes to us and they say, hey, I really want a website design, I'll say, okay, do you want us to write the copy for you, or is that something that you're going to bring to us? Because those are two completely separate services. And you want to make sure that your copy is speaking, again, back to going to your ideal clients and your services and all of that. You want to make sure that your copy is speaking directly to your ideal clients. It's answering their questions. It builds trust, and it's really cohesive with the visual side of your branding. So everything just is consistent and it all makes sense together. So that's definitely something to potentially think about when you are reaching out to a designer or you're starting your website. You want to really think about your copy. And then the last thing are photos. We want real photos of you working with your pets or happy clients. And this can make a really enormous difference in trust and relatability on your website. When we have clients that bring us professional photos to the project, it really is such a game changer. Their website will look exponentially better. So that's something else to keep in mind, or in terms of like budget, but also, or even if you have like a friend who can take photos, That's something that's super helpful to bring to the table when you are inquiring with a designer or you're going to DIY a site. You're definitely going to want to consider that. So the most important things to consider before you reach out to a designer or start with this process is getting clear on your services and ideal clients, your branding. So that's like the visual side of your branding. And then your copy, which also can speak to your brand as well. So your brand messaging, basically your brand voice, all of that, and your photos, real photos of you working with pets, because we want to be looking into the eyes of the people who are going onto your website. We don't just want stock photos or AI generated photos. So those are the things that we want to consider and think about in this process. I think it's something that a lot of times people miss. And I think it's really important to bring it all together, because without these pieces, even the most beautiful website design cannot do its job. So those are the things to consider before you are actually starting that website design process. The next thing I want to touch on is the pretty versus strategic websites and really why it matters. Because I think a lot of times we just think, okay, I need a website, I have copy, I have colors, and let's just plug it in, right? But this is where so many pet businesses get stuck and they focus on getting that pretty website instead of a strategic one. Or a lot of designers get into design because they like designing pretty things, but the strategy is missing and that is not helping or benefiting your business. And don't get me wrong, aesthetics matter, obviously. We want our site to look good. But a website's job is not just to look nice, its job is to work for you. It's to help convert clients. The ultimate goal is for somebody to land on your website and be like, this is awesome. I feel very connected to this brand because of the words and the design. The flow is really easy and I know how to proceed through the steps and I want to work with this company because of it. So you got to connect. A strategic website will have a clear, intuitive flow that leads visitors towards taking action, no matter what that action is, like contacting you, booking, filling out a form, scheduling a meet and greet. We want to have thoughtful page structure. We want to have proper SEO set up so you can actually be found on Google. Because again, even if you have a great looking website with great words on it and you're not like indexing on Google, you don't have any page tags set up, you don't have any SEO strategy in there, that's not good either. And it's just a waste of money. We want our website to be accessible. That's becoming even more important these days for accessibility. Your fonts are readable, your photos have alt text, your site works on mobile. These things are crucial for usability and also for SEO and showing up in those search results. We also want onboarding systems integrated into your website. So it's not just like collecting inquiries, but helping you run your business more smoothly. So when it comes to figuring out which path you want to go towards getting a website for your pet business, you need to make sure that whoever you're hiring, whoever's helping you in this process, or if you're doing it by yourself, that you have strategy and it's working for you. You understand the SEO strategy. You understand how to build an accessible website. You know it has a good user experience and good flow, and you have your onboarding systems in there so that your website is working for you. And if you're going towards that DIY direction, I highly recommend at least looking into our website templates to DIY it, or you can look at some of our free resources on our website. Like on our blog, we have a lot of resources on website strategy. We also have a free masterclass that you can look up. If you go to Pet Marketing Unleashed /tools, you'll be able to see our free masterclass that you can sign up for to help you learn more about how to do onboarding on your website. So there's a lot of free resources out there if that's the direction you want to go, but you just want to make sure that no matter if it's you doing it or a designer or somebody else who's helping you, that you are including strategy into your website, because otherwise there's no point. It's so important when you are hiring a designer to make sure that they understand all of the stuff that I just went over, because the design alone is not enough. They need to understand strategy. They need to understand how your business works. They need to understand your industry. They need to understand SEO, client experience, you name it. It all works together to have a website that actually works for your business and becomes worth the investment. And speaking of investment, why is your website your number one marketing investment? Remember earlier in this episode, I don't know if that was in the intro or right when I started the episode, but I mentioned that all marketing leads back to your website, and it's so true. So whether someone finds you through Instagram or you're spending a lot of money monthly trying to get somebody to post on your Instagram and it's getting a lot of traction, but then where are you leading them? It's link in bio and it goes back to your website, right? But if you're leading them to a bad website, then that is completely pointless and you're wasting all of your money on this marketing person. Same thing with Google search. They're going to your website. A referral. So if someone mentions your business name, like, hey, I really recommend Michaela's Pet Care Company, what are they going to do? They're going to Google Michaela's Pet Care Company and land on your website. If you have a flyer or a yard sign that has a QR code, that's going back to your website. Every single marketing step is leading back to your website. So if that site is not clear, it's not strategic or trustworthy, you are losing potential clients right there, and you're wasting a whole bunch of money and time on other marketing that's not moving the needle. And that is why investing in your website is not just about looking professional. It's about making every other marketing effort, everything else you do in your business actually work for you. When your website's set up right, it becomes your hardest working employee. It helps you attract clients, set boundaries, automate onboarding, free up your time to focus on what you love. Like, it really does everything. Everything in your business leads back to your website. That's where people are going to actually inquire and book with you. So it's super important to make sure that you are thinking through these steps, having everything prepared, and including strategy in the process. Okay, I hope this was helpful. If you are ready to finally have a website that doesn't just look good, but actually works for your business, we can absolutely help you. We, again, have our pet business website templates, or of course, if you're ready for something fully custom, we have our custom brand and website design services where we bring it all to life for you from scratch. And you can learn about all these options over at petmarketingunleashed.com. We'll have some links for you below in the show notes as well. But the bottom line is, I just want to stress the importance of making sure that regardless of which option you choose, regardless of your budget, that you are making sure that your website has strategy. It's not just looking pretty. Otherwise, everything else becomes a waste of time and you are losing money on potential clients. So I really hope that this was helpful and that you take some of these things to heart and make some changes. If you have any questions on any of this too, because I know this was a really dense episode, I feel like compared to some of our other ones that are more just like very streamlined into one specific aspect of like, how to add testimonials to your website or something like that. This was very broad yet very dense in its information. Definitely don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can reach out to us on Instagram at Pet Marketing Unleashed, or you can reach out to us via email at hello@petmarketingunleashed.com. And we'll be happy to help you or even point you in the direction. But I think we have a lot of great resources on our website, on our blog, and also on our tools page that can help you get started on that website process and start thinking more strategically about your website. And I think that'll be like the best thing that you can walk away from this episode from, just to make sure that we're stressing the importance of websites, how important it is, but also not just having like one that looks pretty. We want to make sure that it has strategy, that you know what you're doing when you get involved in this, whether you're doing it yourself or hiring a designer. So thank you so much for tuning in. And remember, before you spend more time or money on marketing, make sure your website is ready to receive all of that attention. Because when it is, that's when everything else starts to click. Everything will work easier in your business, and you'll start to see that growth and start to see it working for you, start to see that ROI on your investment. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for listening all the way to the end. I appreciate you being here, and if you enjoyed this episode, which I think you did because you're still here with me, then I want to invite you to check out our website templates over at petmarketingunleashed.com/shop. As a podcast listener, I know you're serious about taking your pet business to the next level, and your website is a crucial piece to making that happen. After all, your website is more than a digital business card. It's your virtual assistant, your marketing person, your booking manager, and it should be working for you around the clock, bringing in clients, saving you time, and growing your business. Our Pet Marketing Unleashed website templates are not just pretty. They're also strategically designed for your type of business, built with search rankings in mind, and are truly easy to customize so you can launch a successful website and streamline your operations. You'll also get access to our signature course that shows you how to write website copy like a pro, do foundational SEO, and set up your tech. So with a few clicks to customize, you have absolutely everything you need for a website that stands out from the pack. And as a thank you for being a loyal podcast listener, you can use the code PMUPodcast at checkout to get 10% off your website template. Again, that's PMUPodcast for 10% off your template. If you're ready to elevate your website and make it work as hard as you do, head over to petmarketingunleashed.com/shop and explore all our templates. Also, if you love this episode, sharing it with a fellow prepreneur or leaving a review and rating is a great way to support this podcast and keep it running. Thanks again for tuning in. I'll be back soon with a new episode.